I want to thank y'all for tuning in. RASTIK Reloaded. I'm your host, RASTIK again. I'm here with MATV, organizer, president, chairman, SONYA ARRINGTON. And I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
And just a quick rundown for the people that don't know, like your organization. I don't know who wouldn't know, but for the people that don't know, just give them like a quick rundown of the history of MATV and like where it kind of originated from and the mission statement behind it.
Okay. MATV stands for Mothers Against Teen Violence, but I have to let you all know it's not just for mothers, it's anybody who want to take a stand against the violence in our community. And I started MATV after the tragic death of my son, who was shot 5 times January 5th, 2010, coming out of a convenience store. And I have to let everybody know my son's death wasn't in vain, you know, and what I did was I took something negative and turned it into something positive.
Right.
And MATV is all about helping our children out there that's in trouble, making them turn the right way, taking a turn towards the right way. And in order to do that, we need to let our kids know that we love them and that we want to do all we can do to help them. Because they need to know that violence doesn't solve anything. Violence only leads to more violence.
Right, right.
So MATV is basically raising awareness and educating our youth and parents on violence in the community.
Okay. I heard it here first. MATV, Mothers Against Teen Violence, is just raising awareness of things you can kind of do to kind of get our kids back in that circle where they need to be instead of being knuckleheads or doing whatever they do. I understand you have some things in place for the children that basically that are looking to make a difference in the community. Like, what are some of the programs that you have kind of, or either have in place now or that's coming to be in place in the future? Just like let them know basically what that's all about.
Well, right now what I do, I basically work with a lot of kids who are already on probation in detention centers. They are already tied up in our juvenile system. Mm-hmm. And you know, instead of waiting for these troubled kids to come to us, I wanted to figure out a way to go to them. So I work with the probation office and different organizations around the community. Wherever the kids are who are in trouble, that's where I want to be.
Right, right.
Because, you know, no matter how many mistakes you make in life, you can always change. But they need to know that change starts today.
Right.
Don't put it off to tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised to us. You know, so I go around, I do a lot of public speaking in schools, colleges, churches, detention center, anger management groups, you name it, I've done it.
Right,
you know?
right.
So, and that's what I do. You know, I lost something very great to me, and there's going to always be a hole in my heart for my son. But I have a lot of anger, have a lot of pain and frustration, but it's what I do with all that anger and pain and frustration that allows me to go on each day.
Right, correct.
And so I gear it in a positive way, trying to help other young people. Mm-hmm. And it's not just the teens too, we got young adults, we even got adults that's doing violent acts, you know. And when I started this, I said, you know, if I just help one child, I've been done what I set out to do.
Right.
But it's MATV been up and going for over a year now, and I know I have helped a lot more than one child. So whatever I can do to keep the violence to a minimum in our community, mm-hmm. that's what I'm doing.
Right, right. I tip my hat to you again for being able to take that negative situation, turn it into a positive situation to help other people. Now, a lot of people can't, I won't even want to say won't, but a lot of people can't do that. But the fact that you did that, I tip my hat to you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And I understand that you have organized like events like for the kids also. I know you have something coming up real soon. I wanted to touch on that for a quick minute so the kids that don't know about it can come and partake in that. And I know you you want mothers and fathers and parents to kind of come and be involved in it also. Let the people know basically about some of those events.
Okay, on July 29th at the Roger Young Park, we having a community swim day.
Okay.
You know, and that's for all the kids to come out, not just the kids, the parents, because we need to get the parents, you know, to interact with our kids on the activities that they do on a day-to-day basis. We're going to have food, games, prizes. You know, we want the parents to come in and swim. Take time with your kids.
Right.
A lot of these kids are lacking especially the male role model in their life, you know. And I think if we can keep our kids busy, we'll keep them out of trouble. And that's my goal for the summer. You know, I had already had my agenda for 2011 done back in January. You know, and I was only going to do one event a month. Here I'm doing 2 or 3 events a month.
Right, right.
Because we need to keep these kids busy. So whatever I can do to keep them busy and keep them out of trouble, that's what I want to do. And you know, when I hold these events, all these kids that's showing up, you know, I can look up and say, at least I know all these kids that's here with me participating in what I'm doing. They're not in trouble. They're enjoying themselves. It's not just for the fun, but there is also an educational piece in it too.
Correct.
Because no matter what event I give, like I do community cleanups, you know, I always have time for real talk. I take at least 20 minutes to a half an hour, sit down, talk to these kids, and tell them, you know, don't think once, think twice before you do something. Because it's that second thought that may save your life or somebody else. And I always tell them too, you know, it takes a bigger person to walk away. Just because you walk away from a fight or doing something bad, don't mean you're scared. It just means you're smarter than the other person.
Right.
And that's what I try to tell these kids.
That's a good way to look at it. That's definitely a good way to look at it. Getting into, if there is a mother, father, grandmother, anybody that's watching today, what do you say to the parents of the teens that's grown up in our community to kind of either help them veer these children away from teen violence or to even help them cope with a situation that might have happened or anything like that?
Well, you know, violence had been going on in our community way before my son was shot and killed.
Right.
But as a parent, I would like to tell other people, don't wait as I did before you get involved. Get involved now, today. Prevention is the key. Whatever we can do today is going to make our community safer for tomorrow for our kids. So don't wait until it happened to you before you get that call like I did. You know, that was like a wake-up call for me.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to see no parent get that call. I don't want to see no children end up where my son is. When I want to go visit my son, me and my family, we have to go to the cemetery. And you know, it's sad because it was a senseless act of violence that took his life, and it didn't have to be. These kids need to understand that there is always a positive way to end negative conflict. So whatever I can do to help these kids, to motivate these kids to think twice before they really do something, that's what I want to do. Because what they need to realize, once you do something, you can't take it back. So you really have to think about it before you do it. Weigh the consequences, you know. What's going to happen if I do this? And if you just take that minute or two to think about it, then you'll get the right answer.
Okay. Yeah. Think not once, but twice before you act. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. Think twice. Don't think once. Again, our topic of discussion for this week has to deal with a situation that happened, and what our topic is basically talking about is if a mother was sexually assaulted and she wanted to have an abortion because she didn't want to go through relive that reenactment, what would you say to her? Like, what would you basically say to her? Like, what steps should she take to actually go through or get it counseling her mind right about the situation?
Well, what I would tell her is, first of all, she needs to go to her pastor. If she's involved in the church, you need to go to your church and seek religious help, you know, because the pastors are good at that. And second of all, as a woman, you know, it depends on the individual themselves. If that's something that she wanted to do, that's her belief. You know, I'm not walking in her shoes. I don't know how she'll feel. I don't know how she will handle it. But if she thinks that'll make her life complete, that'll make her life better, then go ahead and do it. But then on the flip side, if you do decide you want to have that baby, you can go ahead and have the baby there too. But I really think down the road, you're really going to need counseling, because when you do see your baby, you know, you're going to go back to how your baby was conceived.
Right.
And so you need all the help that you can get, but I really think the first place you need to seek help is in church with God. because, you know, with God, all things are possible. Every day is a blessed day, even for me. Even though I lost my son to such a violent act, I'm blessed every day of my life. You know, I'm blessed to be sitting here talking to you. I'm blessed to be out here helping kids that I don't even know.
Right.
You know, and I deal with a lot of kids on a daily basis, and I always tell these kids, you know, even though I don't know y'all, some of you I do, but a lot of you don't, but I love all of you. And I love all of you enough to stand up here or sit, whichever one I'm doing, and try to save your life, because I couldn't save my son's life. So if I can save your life, I've been and done what God set out for me to do.
Right. I feel you. Again, before we get out of here, I just real quick let the people know how can they become a part of the movement. How can they become, if they have anything that they wanted to do to kind of help with MATV, and let them know basically how they can get in touch with you or go to the websites or whatever the case might be.
Okay, I'm on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook, you know, so I check my Facebook daily. I'm on Twitter. I also have a website, MATVErie.com. You can go in there, you can put in your information, and it'll send an email to me if you want to volunteer, if you want to give a donation. And then also, too, you can call me on my cell phone anytime, any day. If you got a problem with your kids, or if your kids feel that they need to talk, I'm always there. I'm always ready to listen. You can reach me at 814-572-9567. That's 814-572-9567. But in all honesty, I'm not hard to find.
All right, all right. Well, again, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I had a good time.
Thank you.
And keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, my hat is tipped off to you. I really appreciate the emotion and the passion behind your movement, MATV. No think once, think twice. It's that simple.